Yes, hello everyone. Good evening to everyone. So, grabe, tough day to, tough day. Actually, by the way, my name is Eyel. I'm I'm a creative lead and a designer as well. So, to any one of you guys who doesn't know me yet, so that's who I am. And tough day actually. Bago tayo siguro magsimula, I just want to share what happened dito sa araw na to. So, medyo bumpy nga lang kasi galing nga ako sa birthday nung kapatid ng girlfriend ko. So, we celebrated his birthday. I think he's 19 na. So, nagpapabati kasi siya. So, happy birthday. Just be a birthday. So, may you enjoy the day. And also, yung mga tita na doon, si Nats, si Chikaina, and Chang. So, um, ingat kayo dyan. Sorry, I had to leave early because I'm very excited din dito sa topic na to. And I really can't wait. Actually, kahapon niya, siguro sa mga sa mga hindi ko friends sa Facebook, I did some test uh, to pull this up to a 1080p just to give a good quality uh, stream to you guys. So, ganyan ko kayo kamahal. So, please, I know everyone is very excited now and matagal ko na rin tong gustong i-deal sa sarili ko. I like the actual, yung mga questions sa isip ko ngayon, like way before kasi during my first job, just to give you an intro, during my first job, I was um, not really into accepting criticism. Hindi ko kinakaya na tumanggap ng criticism sa mga directors ko, sa creative leads kasi I feel like it's very personal on my end. Nagiging personal yung dating sa akin. Why? Siguro ngayon ko lang siya na-realize na maybe because I'm I've extended enough effort on that specific project and then eventually magkakaroon ng ganitong changes, magkakaroon ng ganitong hindi ako aware during that time na constructive criticism pala yon. And now the reason why I have Bats with me talking with this criticism, so hindi ko na patatagalin pa. I just want you guys to know her. So yes, Bats, kamusta? Kamusta? So, you're on the stream or the stage na.
Oh my
So,
gosh, I'm on the stream. Hi, I'm okay.
yeah, that's
Belated
nice.
happy birthday nga pala to you kasi it was your birthday yesterday. And hi
Oh, thank you.
everyone.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much. Um, Siyempre, I want everyone to know you sa mga bago pa lang dito na nanonood sa atin ngayon. So, feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Bat. Well, that's my nickname. And I'm actually 23 years old, and I'm currently a freelance digital strategist and marketer. And what else? Yeah, I've been kind of working and like hustling since I was around 18. And yeah, I'm a pretty chill person. And yeah, yun lang. I mean, yun lang, yeah.
All right. Sige, sige. Okay, I think let's start on this time na for you. What is criticism for you?
Um, I think criticism is really just feedback on something like you did
Mm-hmm.
or something that, and well, it's not just something you did, but maybe the things you think of or the kind of person you are.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just kind of hearing another opinion or
Mm-hmm.
another side to, you know, an idea or a concept or yun nga, yung gawa mo or who you are. So yeah, for me,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what criticism is, yeah.
Okay. Just recently kasi na nanonood ako ng I think it's about how to deal with criticism. So
Mm.
nag-prepare na rin ako para dito. So one of the takeaways ko nung pinapanood
Mm.
ko yun is meron palang dalawang side ng criticism. So number one is it's constructive and number two is subjective. I don't know if
Yes.
if, if it's correct, but I think mukha naman. Um,
Yeah.
what are your
Um,
thoughts about it? What are your thoughts about constructive criticism and subjective criticism?
I think, I kind of agree with that actually. Because I really feel that criticism, it's a two-bladed sword. It can be a good or a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with criticism, kasi I feel like, what kind of sets it apart from each other, like whatever criticism it
Mm-hmm.
may be, it's really the intention of the person. So yung subjective, it's really just, giving your opinion whether, it's something the other person wants to hear or not. And then, constructive is you care about the other person. And that's why you feel like you have the need to explain it and to say it. So, agree ako doon. I think, yeah, there really is
Mm-hmm.
different intentions and different
Oh,
kinds of
okay, okay. That's nice. Actually,
it.
gusto ko lang din, I think this goes to aspiring, well, sa mga designers ngayon na kapapasok pa lang
Yes.
sa industry,
Yeah.
especially yung mga, ayan, yung mga bago pa lang. Um,
Yeah. Mm.
Kasi ako, during my first job in Makati, I was a motion graphic designer. And
Yeah.
meron akong project na ginagawa. Just to share, meron akong project nung ginagawa. And then, nung natapos ko yung project, actually, hindi
Mm.
siya motion project, but it's a branding
Oo.
project. Ngayon,
Okay.
um, to tell you honestly about
Mm.
my strength, or how I do things. Masyado ako
Yeah.
ma-technical na tao. So I don't
Yeah.
I'm not really into the creative side of things. Parang
Mm.
wala ako dun sa creative side and design. So I'm more of
Yeah.
the design itself. So
Yeah.
nangyari, kapag nagba-brand ka kasi, it
Yeah.
needs to be both. You need to be
Mhm.
creative, you need to have a good, you need to be keen in terms of design. So
Yeah.
nung nagba-brand ako nung time na yun, nagkamali ako actually. Sobrang nagkamali ako nun. At inaamin ko yun. At ang fault ko nun is that nag-present ako ng case study, and then eventually ang return sa akin nung vice president, I guess. Kasi startup pa lang yun. So,
Yeah.
ang balik sa akin, ang comment doon sa ginawa ko, sabi niya. Kasi ano
Mm.
yun eh, paano ko ba sasabihin to? In general na lang. So, sa industry, wedding siya. Wedding company siya.
Yeah.
So, ginawa namin sila ng branding. Eventually, nag-present ako kasi they trust me more on
Yeah.
doing this kind of project. So, kumuha ako ng case
Mm.
study, and then eventually, nung natapos ko yun, pinresent na namin. So, ako naman, very confident ako kasi feeling ko tama. Feeling ko okay
Yeah.
yung ginawa ko. And then,
Oh.
one of her comments was, bakit may logo natin yan? I mean, bakit
Uh,
may logo natin yung presentation mo? It's supposed to be
yeah.
their logo. Because you're
Yeah.
doing it
Oh.
for them. Hindi mo
Yeah.
naman ito ginagawa para sa atin. So,
Uh,
kapag gumagawa ka kasi dapat ng presentation, you need to like put them in your presentation, not you.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you're just putting things na
Mm.
pwede nyong gawin, like executions or what. So,
Mm.
nung time na yon, na-offend ako. Iyon yung pinaka naramdaman ko. Na-offend
Uh,
ako, like for
yeah.
real, sobrang naging emotional ako. Sabi ko,
Mm.
I'm sorry pero ang baba nun, pero ang babaw nun, pero sobrang
Yeah.
na-offend ako
Yeah.
nung time na yun. Sabi ko, anong
Mm.
ginawa akong mali?
Yeah.
Parang ang sabi niya sa akin, mag-design ako ng ganito. Ang sabi niya sa akin, gumawa ako
Yeah.
ng ganito. So,
Oo.
ginawa ko naman. But,
Yeah.
ano yung ginawa ko? I mean, ano yung mali doon? So,
Oo.
feeling ko
Yeah.
kasi parang, um,
Mm.
kailangan kasi kami gagawa nito, so dapat lagay ko yung company logo
Yeah.
namin, so ganyan. So dapat
Um,
hindi ko nilagay kasi
Oo.
ipopropose namin sa kanila na ito yung dapat yung maging. So kapag pinropose
Mm.
namin sa client yun, so pag tinignan nila, ano to, ba't may logo nyo? Ano to? Ganyan, parang ganun. Parang on my end, kung sa
Yeah.
akin pe-present yun, di ba
Oo.
you're presenting um, my brand, di
Mm.
ba? So, dapat brand ko yun
Yeah.
nandyan. So,
Yeah.
yun, ngayon actually, it took me a year bago ko
Um,
ma-realize yung mga ganung bagay. So,
mm.
nahihirapan ako na to a point na I get so unethical na umabot ako sa point na naging unethical ako in such
Yeah.
way na talagang hindi ako pumapasok kasi sobrang nagagalit ako, nagtatampo ako.
Mm.
So, emotions
Mm.
are going inside my mind and in my heart. Kasi,
Yeah.
hindi ko kayang
Gawa mo yun eh. Oo.
hindi ko
Oo.
kayang
Yeah.
i-separate yung sarili ko, yung
Yeah.
emotions ko from that project. Kasi parang feeling
Yeah.
ko, ito lang siguro naisip ko,
Uh-huh.
siguro naging attached ako dun sa project na yun that I don't know,
Mm.
ito lang din yung tumatakbo sa isip ko na
Yeah.
uh, kapag kasi passion mo ang isang bagay, parang you always
Uh,
put your heart in it.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you get so happy whenever you accomplish things
Yeah. Yeah.
na lalo na
Oo.
may mga task ka na okay, nag-set kayo ng project timeline and then kailangan sa first week
Every.
matapos mo tong branding materials and then the next week is
Oo.
the social media
Yeah.
executions and what. So,
Oo.
nagiging masaya ako every time na natatapos ko ang isang task. So,
Yeah, I think and yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if emotions can be part of it or should we
Uh-huh.
separate it literally doon sa ginagawa natin.
Uh-huh.
Especially kapag nasa trabaho tayo. Should we? Should we?
I agree. Like, for me, I agree. Like, you really should. Kasi ako, yeah, since I said earlier, like, I kind of started working really young.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, like, maybe as I was growing up, I kind of really picked up the skill na, especially when you're working in marketing, everything, a lot of things are subjective. Like, your idea, as much as it is backed up by data, it's still, like, your idea. And it's very much yours. So, nagigets kita na parang you get defensive. Because ako rin, like, honestly, as a strategist, I feel really like, when I come up with a strategy, like the slogan, the key message, and all of that, I'm like, yes, this is perfect, ganon. And then when you pitch to a client and they're like, I don't like that. It's like,
Garbage.
parang all of the hours that I've put in to think of that, really, like, parang nasayang ko. And kasi ako, I really value time. So, it hurts me, and then it's kind of personal because that was my insights, my ideas, or like the team's ideas. So I really feel like when people work, they really have to learn to separate that, and that's something like as I was growing up, and because I started early, I got to pick up. But then took me a few. I mean, until now, I still have my lapses. Na if I feel like it's really the right thing, and push ko when yung pala mali, I was just getting really emotional, or like. For me, like, I hear a criticism na parang, I'm a perfectionist. So hearing something wrong about my work, it kind of startles me. Hindi siya yung kind of, na parang, it's not a big tantrum. I don't throw a big tantrum, but it's more of a slow, gradual thing na, I don't want to work on this thing. I avoid it for a few weeks. And then, pag deadline, doon na ako magka-crunch time and hustle and really cram what I know. Because I couldn't take the criticism kasi parang for me, that was really like, that was to me. So parang, I think it's really important, especially for someone who's gonna work in a field that's very subjective. So something like media or something like marketing, advertising, and all of that, that it's really, really clear to them in themselves na whatever feedback people give, 90% of the time, it's not directed at you as a person and who you are, what your morals are, but it's directed at what you do. It's not about you. It's about the product that you did. And I think kasi Filipinos by nature are very emotional. Like, I mean, all of us, like, I mean, yun nga, yung parang, I think there was a really, may bagong lumabas na movie, yung kay, Paolo Contis, yun, parang, forgot the title of the movie, pero everyone was posting about it. And when you look at your feed, may mga sawi posts, may mga like rants about certain topics happening now and stuff. So, parang by nature, Filipinos are emotional. And I feel like, kasi ako, I've gotten the chance to work with foreign bosses. And they're really separated. And I think because I got that experience, I realized na, okay, like, I really should separate, that. Like, parang, what I think and what I feel to what the client deserves to have and what is best for the project. Kasi it's really hard. And I think what else is also hard is, kasi when it's a criticism, you feel like, I don't know if it's just me, but for me, when I hear a criticism, I feel like, oh my God, am I being blamed? Like, I feel like this is like on me. But then yun nga when you learn to separate it, that's when it becomes healthy and constructive. But then, that's a skill that you really have to pick up over the years. Like, it's not something you learn overnight. And I think pa kasi, like with criticism, it's not the criticism itself that's bad, but it's the fact that it kind of, I wouldn't say gaslights, but it kind of initiates you to overthink. And when someone overthinks, wala na, like parang you literally just freeze. Kahit, like, I mean, a lot of people, they either freeze or they go in attack mode and like kind of defend the idea or like the thing to death, and they end up doing things that, if they were in a normal state would be really, okay, parang it wouldn't be something they do. So I really feel like I agree with you. Like when it comes to work, you really have to separate the personal and the professional life. Like you can be friends with the people you work with. You can learn, you can have like bosses as mentors and everything. Have a personal connection with people. But it's just really hard to separate the two. But it's a must, especially for an industry like ours. So it's hard though. I mean, I think I started working at 18. So parang I picked it up mga like what? Mga 21, 22. And then the thing is it's like when I picked it up, it was a slow learning curve. Like it was a slow process to it. Kasi it's really separating yourself from what you do. And that's hard because we're passionate about what we do, especially creatives or like people who really like work on the project from the ground up. It's really hard, but it's a must. It really is a must. And it's something a lot of people, admittedly my age, have to learn na when something is said, it's not directed at you. It's directed at your work, yes, but not who you are as a person. Pero for me like if it's directed at you na as a person, na as in on a personal level about the things you stand for and believe in, that's when you kind of, okay, you don't have to be mean, but that's when people get emotional Kasi parang, when it's about you na, that's really a direct, I wouldn't say attack, but it's a direct thing to you. So dun na parang medyo gray area yun kasi it's kind of a sensitive topic for anyone when you're the one being criticized, not your work. So, yun. And I think also for the people giving feedback, like not just to the people accepting it, even to the people giving it, it's really important now when it comes to work, you just focus on work. Because I've read so much horror stories from friends, relatives, schoolmates, even in school, like this problem persists everywhere na parang because ayaw nila yung tao kung ano-ano nang sasabihin when they have the chance to because they're in a better position. And parang I feel like kasi, criticism goes two ways. Some people, they accept it, like, the way they say it is wrong. But some people, it's the way they take it. So I think it's not just also with the person who's saying criticisms. Accepting criticisms. But also the people saying it. Like, it's really important also na pati sila, they separate the personal and the professional aspects of it. So there really has to be a separation. Kasi I mean, kung ang government nga, actually, technically, kung ang government may separation from church and state, I think that applies even to work na parang there's a separation from personal and professional. And that's a rule in any job that you get. So that's something that has to be practiced more for sure.
Okay.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So yun. Yeah.
Actually, I'm trying to collect my thoughts now about what you have said. And ang daming mga interesting points doon. Number one is it's a skill that
It's a skill.
It's a skill kasi actually sa lahat ng kapapasok pa lang ngayon or even yun nga gaya nga na sinasabi mo na sa school. So I think criticism mostly happens in school kasi competition, may competition lagi sa loob ng classroom, laging may competition. So so ito yung tanong na unang pumasok sa isip ko. How can you determine if it's a constructive criticism or a very subjective criticism?
For me, pag constructive kasi, aside from simply the delivery. It's not harsh. It's not a call out, or excuse me. It's not like you're canceling someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that. Constructive criticism is, it's said properly. It's
Mm-hmm.
said with the intention, like parang, like let's say I tell you, you know what, I love your design, but I really think na ganito ganun. And then you explain why. Parang you give the person kasi a chance to learn from, what you feel they lack on, or what you feel they can learn about more. So that's when it's constructive because you want the person to grow. But if it's subjective, it's kind of like, I don't like that. And then when the person even asks, why? Wala, ayoko na. Or parang, wala, it's pangit. Wala, it's not what I want. Doon na yun
Yeah,
subjective. Kasi
that's too
parang,
harsh, no?
that's harsh. But like, that happens in,
Yes.
in workplaces, in schools, in homes, everywhere na, it's really, it's like a society thing. Like, it's not just like an industry thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, it's really hard, like, for anyone to take criticism kasi, even ako, parang napansin ko with some people and with myself na parang, if it's something someone said na parang it kind of triggers something like a trauma or like a soft spot,
Mm-hmm.
wala na eh, parang you kind of get agitated and you get like you get emotional, and it really affects the way you work, diba? Parang you really freeze, and like, or maybe you get really mad, you become unethical, or you just simply don't care anymore, you become apathetic. So parang, yun eh, that's what's hard about criticism. Pero yun nga, I really feel like it's really important, again, to go back to the intention. I think that's what I do when I hear something from, like, let's say, a boss or
Mm-hmm.
a friend. Parang, some people tell me, like, like, let's say, for example, when you go to a family reunion, when you go to a family reunion, and then they're like, and then somebody comments, alam mo, tumaba ka. You stop it, and you're like, okay, thanks. But then in your head, you're like, dami nang pumapasok sa utak mo. And you're like worried. But what I do kasi, my thought process for that is I sit down and then I think about it. So parang I think about it talaga. And parang, do I take this in or do I not take this in?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then if I decide to take it in, and then sige, diet, ganon. Pero if not, parang I'm okay with my weight. I'm okay with who I am right now. And then, wala, dead ma. Parang ganon. So, I think it's really going back to number one, who said it. So if it's like someone you trust and someone you know who's trying to tell you because you need to know, then, might as well take it, because if they have your best intentions at heart, diba, bakit ayaw mo pakinggan?
Mm-hmm.
Gets ko naman, like, it takes time sometimes, but, why won't you listen to someone who has good intentions? Pero, and then it's how it's said. And then, parang, so, when someone says it, when I realize that parang it's kind of like a call out, ako, I take a step back. Other people get mad, but ako, I take a step back and I just keep quiet. And then maybe I get mad after, when I've like processed and realized it's really a call out, or, like, I get mad. And I think it's how it's said, going back to that, parang, was it said to your face or was it said behind your back? And I feel like that's very important, because if it's said to your face, that means it's important for you to know. If it's said behind your back, then it simply just means it's an opinion, and the fact that they can't tell you straight to your face. Pretty much, it's like, does it really matter if you can't even tell the person? I don't think so. So, yun yung mga iniisip ko when I take in criticism. So, yun.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So nice. Ang dami na naman tumatakbo sa isip ko ngayon, but
Yeah, diba? Yeah, I mean, thought process.
Paano ba to? Tama yun. Yung thought process.
Oo. When you're taking in criticism, kasi for a girl, it's different. For a guy, it's different. Like, for guys, it's very, like, I don't know. Like, that's still something I've never, like, talked about with my brother or with my guy friend. For us, kasi kaming girls, we dwell on it. I don't know how guys take it in. So, I mean, ako naman, how is your thought process like? Yeah.
My thought process. Well, eventually, bago tayo pumunta doon, someone asked here.
Okay.
Sabi niya, I think what if criticism happens online?
Online.
Yeah. Go.
Like online, okay, siguro for me, again, it goes back to, for me, I'm super against cancel culture. That is something all my friends know. And I think that's what this person is saying, na parang, there's different degrees of cancel culture, in my opinion. Since I do work in digital marketing, I'm always online, like 24/7. Like, the last thing I see before I sleep is Facebook. Like, ang sad nun pakinggan, but that's just the truth. And, for me, when I see, like, comments, or like, kasi yun nga, there's different degrees. There's like a full-on cancel post na this person did this. And like, it's not fair. It's not just, okay. Then there's the smaller kind na parang magko-comment friend mo tapos sobrang foul ng comment, sobrang unwarranted, sobrang like, whoa, like, why are you commenting that here in public? So there's different levels to it. But for me, kasi when it happens online, first of all, I think what people have to remember and have forgotten, whatever you post online, you can delete it, you can forget it exists, but it's gonna be there forever. There's always a way to find the things you post. And that's why criticism online is really important not to post online. Parang, why does that even exist na parang you're putting it out in public, in a public space? Because I think people forget that, yeah, I mean, you have friends, you have, like, naka-private ka and everything, but then again, it's really not that private kasi when you post something, it's like, it's in a public space. Other people see it unless, piniem mo yung tao. But technically, it's a public space. And ako, I'm against it. And if criticism happens online and someone is calling you out, I think for me, the best approach, if you're the one who's gonna criticize someone online, think twice. I really think, like, this is such an overused statement for digital marketing and for like social media in general and the internet in general. Think before you post, because there are repercussions on both sides, not just to the person, not just to whoever you're attacking, but to you. Because if you don't fully understand the situation and you post something and then people look into it and you're proven wrong, it's gonna backfire at you. And then for the other person, what if they were just simply never aware of what they were doing was wrong, or there was like a deep psychological issue, family issue, whatever, like there's a deep sense, like a deep thing to it. That's something that people have to consider, kasi you don't know if someone is on the verge of not being okay. You don't know if somebody is hurting. You don't know if somebody's going through something kaya ganito siya. And until you know that, I don't think you have the right to cancel someone online or to post about someone or to hurt someone like that. So for me, if you're somebody who's canceling, think about it. Like, really think about if you're ready for what this is gonna do up to you and to the other person. And for me, when you cancel someone online, if it's like a needed thing, like it's a really bad thing and you need to post it online, okay, fine. Pero for me kasi parang there's other ways you can handle the problem. Online is not your only life, like Facebook is not your only life. You have other ways to seek help. There are other ways to, well, actually no, pag help okay naman. Pero there are other ways to give constructive criticism or to give subjective criticism, and it's always gonna be there. So are you sure that that's something you want to put out? And then if you're the one accepting, I think the most important thing is before you reply to the post or whatever that's made about you, or the criticism said about you, stop. Like, really just close your laptop, just close everything, sit in a corner and just think. Like, really just calm yourself down. Because imagine if you react really badly. And the thing is, what if it's correct? Like, kasi for the person rin to call you out, may pinanggagalingan yan. So, it's really good to evaluate. And when you're ready to answer the problem, the first thing you should do is talk to the person who posted. I know that sounds so weird and so forward, but kasi if you don't fix the problem at the root of it, at the source, it's never gonna be fixed, and it's just gonna be a war, and it's just gonna be a whole mess that no one wants to be part of. So it's really important that you talk to the person, and when the person really like kind of tells you na, you not even like hindi kayo maging okay, but at least you let the other person know your side. then you can make your statement, then you can take it publicly. And, at least you tried to fix it. And if this person keeps on going, and, the whole world kind of hates you or something, I really don't know kasi to what degree. But, if it's online and it's there,
Mm-hmm.
every day is a new day to be a different person, to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think talk is cheap and words are everything. Words are worth millions, and talk is like, you can throw it away anytime, anywhere. Like, it's easy to say stuff, but it's hard to do stuff. So, just change as a person and don't let social media define you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people don't know this, but from a digital marketer's point of view, to people who don't know this, your news feeds are actually Facebook's biggest product. It's a
Mm-hmm.
product. So you can show lang what you want to show. Like, it's not your life. It's a it's a part of you because it's your social media, but
Mm-hmm.
there are literally people who can like create a different life online. There are people who can completely hide their whole life from social media. So whatever is there, yeah, it's gonna be there forever, but it's not gonna have to define who you're gonna be and how
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be known. Because I've known people who've gotten cancelled or like full on cancelled ha, like worldwide level, like Logan Paul, like sobrang
Yeah.
na-cancel siya, like oh my god, with what he did. But he rose from it, he changed, he said sorry, he changed.
Mm-hmm.
It took him years to get to a better place, but now it's like when I go on TikTok, because yes, I still watch TikTok. Even if I work, I see people's comments like, I used to not like this guy, but now I do.
Mm-hmm.
And yun, parang criticism online, you can take it, you can leave it, but I think the biggest point kasi that I want to say here to anyone, be careful what you post. Like, criticism or not, but mostly criticisms.
Mm-hmm.
Na you think it's just a comment about a celebrity na nagpaparetoke or it's a comment about somebody doing something na baka you're not even sure if it's true or not. Think twice, thrice, four times, five times if you have to. Kasi,
Mm-hmm.
people, you're hurting people. And it's real, you're hurting people in real life, not in the digital space. So, think about it. And yun, it depends how, I think kasi criticism online is just worse kasi honestly, like, you're just opening it up to people who don't even know what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
possibly. So, that's something people have to put into consideration talaga. I
Okay.
really think that's
Uh-huh.
important.
Yeah, I think that was nice. Actually, ang approach
Yeah.
kasi, yung sagot ni
Yeah.
Vance is probably more of a personal basis. So, actually, nagtanong ulit siya, sabi niya, nagre-refer lang, he's referring to clients daw,
To client.
if ever, yung client na yun nagki-criticize din sa work mo.
As in,
So,
like, as in online, as in,
yeah,
like,
let's put it in a freelance, like in a freelancer's perspective, no? Kasi we're working online, so overseas, offshore. So personally, how can you handle? Kasi napakaganda ng tanong. Actually, ako rin, I had an experience with that. No, nahirapan din akong i-manage. Yes. Kasi ang nangyari noon, nagkaroon ako ng freelance work, and then kinriticize niya yung gawa ko, which is what do you call this? Digital poster to. Na gagamitin for marketing purposes, and then eventually sinabi niya na hindi ko gusto yan, pangit yan. Hindi ko na alam ginawa ko nun. Alam mo kung ginawa ko nun? Wala. Tinapos ko yung project. Actually, tinapos ko in a sense na wala akong sinabing kahit ano. Parang I just suddenly left because of pero ano na to, that it was like college pa ako, so that's when the time na talagang nainis ako, tapos sabi ko, bahala ka. Bahala ka. Ayoko na, ganun. Hindi ko sinabi sa kanya, but in an instant, tinapos ko yung project, binlock ko siya, ayoko siyang kausapin because I'm so like emotionally driven. So paano naman kapag ganun? Kasi especially kung sa mga nagsisimula pa lang ngayon sa freelancing.
Okay. I think kasi pag client, I've come from an agency. So when you work in an agency talagang I mean, I don't know if this is to all agencies, but at least to the ones I've been in na parang client is king. So whatever they say is like what you follow. I think for all service companies, that's really how it is. But it depends, parang how it's, again, it goes back to how it's said, ganun. If it's something, like, honestly, it's hard kasi kung online, because if it's through chat, you can take it the wrong way. Because I've literally had feedback na parang yung pala tinatanong lang sa akin, or sinasabi lang, I felt so attacked, gano'n. And then, nung kinausap ako ng tao, oh, yun lang pala ibig sabihin mo.
Mm.
Kala ko ibig sabihin mo ganito. So for me, when it comes to feedback, um, I think it's really important that, for me, I think it's better for it to be given through a call, if it's possible.
Mhm.
Kasi narinig mo yung boses ng tao kung inis sila, kung galit sila, kung, like, if they're just done with working with you or ganun, narinig mo yan eh. But I think another thing is, if you feel like you're not sure, ask questions. Because I feel like with criticisms, kasi yun nga, sometimes the way it's delivered is wrong, but then the intention is good. Like, they just want you to do better at work. So you ask questions like, okay, if that's what you feel, can you give me examples? Okay, if that's what you feel, do you have pegs for me to follow? Ganon. So it's kind of really just getting that insight that what they want you to achieve. And if they can't seem to give you examples or reasons or whatever, then maybe that's when you like say, baka, okay, wait, ganon. Sige, patapusin ko na ng project na to, pero after this, wag na, ayoko na. No more, quits na tayo, like, ayoko na. But if it's like, the person just can't word it properly, and then when they give examples, then you slowly start to get it, okay. And yun nga, I go back to the fact na, it's really important if you separate yourself from work. So if people comment na, I don't like this color, it doesn't look good, ganon, they're not saying you're ugly. They're not saying that you can't work or ganon. They just don't like what you put out at a certain moment, and that's fine. Again, art is very subjective. Art isn't meant to be perfect. It's meant to make you feel things. As I forgot where I heard that, but somewhere around. But like, you know what I mean. So it's okay. Like, it's take it in and learn. And if you have questions about why they gave that feedback, ask like, okay, why do you not like this color? Can you explain to me further so I can choose a better color? Or, oh, you don't like this style of drawing. Okay, I thought this was your peg. Can you explain to me more? And from there, you'll learn. You'll really like pick up. But if you feel like they're asking you to do a completely different job, they're asking you to do a completely different setup and everything, I really think that that's when you kind of put your foot down and you're like, sorry, I really expect that, parang I'm really grateful that you gave me this opportunity to work with you, but this is a completely different thing from what I initially understood. And if we can't come to an agreement, maybe we shouldn't continue. And I mean, it's communication. It's that simple. If you just communicate with the client or the person, it's really gonna make a big difference. And yun, parang just really understanding the root of the criticism and why it needs to be changed and stuff. And yun, minsan it's not an attack, but if they say, you're a pathetic artist, you can't do like, parang, you can't even meet the engagement rates I told you to do, you're such a bad social media manager, and that's when you put your foot down. You're like, excuse me, we are at work, this is a professional work environment. If you're gonna give me criticism, I need it to be objective. Then no matter who you're talking to, if they are giving you personal attacks on a professional project, you step your foot down and you really make a statement and no, I'm not gonna take this unless you give me objective criticism with examples of you proving your point. And if they can't do that, it's not, it's a personal attack, and that's not something you take from somebody who can't even, who can't even give proper criticism, and who can't even give you a real reason why they're criticizing. So it's really just a matter of really understanding the criticism given, and then you think about how to act. Kasi yun. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to learn, because I think the best mindset to have is a growth mindset. So yun. I think that's, like for me, for clients, that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I can see.
Yes.
I see you're very
Yeah.
strong. You're a very strong woman, and
Yeah.
the way you execute those words, alam ko na you've really handled like a lot. I guess a lot.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
especially when you're young.
Uh huh.
Especially when you're young. People, because I feel like they can really give unwarranted advice. I mean, I'm not just disclaimer, I'm not attacking anyone. I'm not here to
Yeah, yeah.
attack anyone. That's really not my thing. But I'm just saying, like in general, parang it's easier to give criticisms to younger people that
Mm,
they're not ready to hear or they don't
yes.
want to hear. Kasi of course, diba, mas like you feel like you have more wisdom. But I think what a lot of people forget is also people make mistakes and they have to learn from that. So
Yes.
yeah, like I had to learn that the hard way. I mean, it's just because they have good intentions.
Mm,
Yeah, they're giving it that way or gonna. It's just that know when it's acceptable and not, and know when in yourself it's a personal attack. And it's just important to know that. Because if you allow yourself to kind of be belittled by people, they're really gonna do it. So
yes.
when you feel like it's something that's happening to you, I think this goes for, especially for beginning freelancers. Excuse
Mm-hmm.
me, na parang if you're being criticized and you feel like it's too much, just like call it out, even if you're younger. Because as much as you are working, you have to protect yourself as well. Like you don't want to mentally drain yourself
Yes.
over like what a freelance project. You don't want
Mm-hmm.
to forever hate graphic design or copyright or whatever for a personal attack that wasn't even valid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an unwarranted comment. So parang yun, it's really just important na when it's not in their lane, like it's not respectable anymore, it's not decent anymore, you stop and you're like, no,
Yes.
I won't take that. Give me examples first
Mm-hmm.
before, because that's really important to have for
Mm-hmm.
anyone. So yeah,
Oh,
yun.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
may mga questions pa.
I'll check my
And we
phone.
only
Yeah,
have like a couple of minutes left na lang pala. Ang
really. Okay,
dami na natin
okay.
na pag-usapan.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we have
Much
two
fun.
last questions.
Okay,
Siguro let's answer this fast para
sige.
try natin.
Mm.
Well, girlfriend ko yung nagtanong. Sabi niya, not all criticism are bad. When is criticism is
Acceptable.
acceptable?
I think, I think you'll agree with me, but I mean, malay mo you have a different opinion. Pero for me, intention. If yun nga, they give you the feedback so that you could change. Like they give examples and they give you steps forward if they want, or they ask you, okay, I can work with you on steps forward. I'm open to working with you and making yourself better. Okay. Like, if it's like, it's from a good place. I think, everybody is instinctive. So
Mm-hmm.
you can tell if it's from a good place or not.
Mm-hmm.
So if you feel like the person really just wants to help, by all means, like, take it in, learn, grow, go. But yun nga, if it's like a personal attack na parang di ka naman kilala ng tao, wala namang bearing talaga, like they can't give examples, they can't give,
Mm-hmm.
don't take it.
Ah,
So, and thanks for saying it also. So,
okay. Next
mm,
question. How to react
yes.
when you don't get agree with a criticism? When you don't agree
Ah,
with a criticism. Ayan. How to react. Siguro, wait lang. Siguro ito na lang. Yung thought process ko, siguro ito yung sasagot dun.
go, stick. Go, go, go.
Whenever criticism comes sa akin, siguro,
Mm,
tama yung sinabi ni Bats na it takes a while.
mm,
It takes years actually bago
think
mo
so.
maisip or bago ka maging aware doon sa nararamdaman mo. Because you need to
Mm,
know what caused you to feel that way. Um,
yes. Yeah.
and tama yun. It's about knowing the intentions of
Mm, mm,
that person na nagkikriticize doon. So, ako naman,
mm,
if I really don't agree with the criticism,
mm,
iniisip ko mo siya. Well, that time na sasabihin sa akin yun, at sinabi sa akin yun,
yeah.
sorry, ang ginagawa
Yeah.
ko, pares lang tayo actually. Mupo lang
Mm,
ako and I'm giving myself time to think, to
yes.
process
Yeah.
anything na is this right? Is this am I
Yeah.
gonna respond right? Ano
Uh-huh.
yung pwede kong sabihin, especially kapag hindi
Mm,
ako agree. But
mm,
it it's probably more on the intentions. Tama nga yun. Iniisip ko, ano ba yung goal? For example, it's a project. Ano ba yung goal na itong project na to? Are we aligned? So,
yes.
kasi ako, I'm leading a creative team. And
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I'm setting up creative brief, branding guidelines, key visuals, para ma-execute namin
Mm,
ang isang project. And then eventually,
yeah.
kapag nagsasubmit sila ng output sa akin, And dumadating yung time na may mga parts na hindi ko talaga nagugustuhan personally, but I'm still thinking about the goal.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes.
putting myself inside the project. I'm putting myself outside to see the broader perspective. Mas gusto kong
Oo.
makita muna yung pinakakabuuan ng project. If it's right for me to say this, kapag pasok naman doon sa sinabi ko or doon sa creative
Yeah.
brief, um, minsan hindi ko na sinasabi. Minsan, okay,
Mhm.
this is good, okay, perfect, maganda to.
Yeah.
I think this could work. And
Mm.
ganun ko siya pinaprocess sa akin. I think of it like hanggang sa pinakamalalim na thinking process ko. Kahit
Yeah.
abutin ako ng ilang minutes, basta I just want to deliver every
Mm.
word that I say na hindi siya
Yes.
offending at some point. Siguro yung isa
Yes.
rin dito na yung kung paano ka magsalita, kung paano mo
Yeah.
dinedeliver
Oh.
yung criticism mo towards a certain
Uh-huh.
project. For example,
Yeah.
ako kasi very calm lang ako magsalita. Like before na, ano ba naman to? Ang pangit naman.
Uh-huh.
Ganon. Parang medyo, pag may
Yeah, yeah.
emotions ka nilalabas, parang
Oo.
kasi nagiging personal yung dating. And
Yes, yes.
on my
Oo.
end, doon ko na practice yun na whenever I criticize, hindi ko siya ah binibigkas ng like may galit or kung ano man.
May bias,
May
alam mo yun?
may
Parang,
inis
oo.
ganon. Na ano ba
Oo,
to?
yeah.
Hindi naman to nasa isip ko, ba't yun yung pinakita mo sa akin? Hindi
Yeah.
ganon. I'm actually asking the person. Kasi isa yun, kapag
Oo.
nagki-criticize ka, you need to ask them as well. For
Oo.
example, ako, kunyari may isang video project na pinresent sa akin, and then I don't
Uh-huh.
feel like it's right. Sasabihin ko lang
Yeah.
naman yun, I feel like it's not right. Feeling ko merong hindi
Uh-huh.
tayo nagawa dito. Can you help me
Yeah.
find it? Tulungan mo ko.
Uh-huh.
So, isasama mo sila doon sa thinking process mo. Ano nga ba? Ano nga ba yun? And
Yeah.
then let them answer. Kung ano man yung
Yeah, yeah.
minsan you just gotta let them, you just gotta ask them. Bakit ka ganito? Kasi
Uh-huh.
ang criticism hindi siya baril agad.
Mm.
Kailangan
Oo.
kinakasa mo muna. So, kapag kinasa mo
Yeah.
siya, make sure na talagang aware lahat.
Oo.
So, ganun lang siya. Ganun din ako mag-criticize. Siguro,
Yes.
wait lang. Ayun. Nagulat lang ako sa tanong. Is she from Binil before? Sino nagtanong? Adrian Luciano. Ayun.
Yes, I was though. I was from Binil.
Anyway,
Saan?
nagulat lang ako. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
ganun ako nagbibigay ng criticism. Dati kasi, very subjective ako. Kasi, I'm very emotional as well. Ganun yun. Kapag
Yeah.
nagiging emotional ka,
Uh-huh.
sa lahat ng ginagawa mo, and you're not doing
Yeah.
it professionally, medyo mahirap pang magiging career mo. Why? Kasi, you're putting your emotions inside. At kapag nangyari
Yes.
yun, galit, you're expecting happiness, but paano kung hindi nangyari happiness doon sa pinasukan mo, sa career mo? And always
Yes.
expect na kapag pumapasok ka sa work, it's not everyday happy. Hindi siya
Yeah,
hindi siya
yes, for
enervon.
sure. It's not, yeah, yeah. Gets, oo. Gets kita doon. Tama daw, tama. Hindi siya
Diba?
on.
Kasi always expect na
Yeah.
ganito na lang. Laging may toxic dyan. Laging may toxicity sa loob ng work. Don't expect na lagi kang masaya every time na papasok ka. Kasi yun eh. Kapag nag-expect tayo personally na, okay, magiging maganda araw ko. Tama naman mag-expect, pero don't expect too much. Kasi you'll never know what would happen this day. Diba? It would happen, o anong mangyayari, kung okay lang ba yung mga kasama. Kasi minsan nababother ka kapag okay, na nasa group meeting kayo, tapos may isang medyo hindi maganda ang mood, biglang, alam mo yun, parang nababother ka kasi hindi maganda yung mood niya. So, don't expect na laging masaya. Especially sa mga
Yeah, don't think that.
diba? Kahit ikaw, diba? Nasa events ka before. Tama ba ako?
Yeah, I did event for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sa part na yun, alam ko, mas madami kasi marami kang kausap na tao.
Yeah, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's actually for me, parang, I think for me kasi, for digital, I think that's really, actually, yeah, it's really hard. I mean, in general, it's really hard to, really, kind of, I think tama ka. Like, medyo natamaan ako sa, in work, there's always toxicity. You could already be working with friends, with family, all of that. can still be really toxic
Yes.
at times. But I think for me kasi, I think just to add on how to parang react to criticism na you don't feel like you agree with, before you even react na, no, gano'n, you ask first, okay, can I know more? Like, or ask questions. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
malay mo, defensive ka lang. Kasi ako ganun ako eh, parang, minsan people be like, you know what? I had a friend. This is a personal thing more than a professional thing. Sabi niya, alam mo ikaw, because I was really like in a bad place. And I was like, why is the world doing this? Ganun. And then he was like, alam mo, hindi mo ba na-realize na baka ikaw lang gumagawa ng sarili mong problema?
Yes.
I was like, oh my god. Like, oh my god, that's not something I was ready to hear at all. But I needed to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did is I'm like, how, gumanon ako. Then he explained. And parang, what I did was after the call, di ko muna siya kinausap. Like, I told them parang, so thank you, I'll change, ganun. Pero what I did is I didn't talk to him first. I really took a step back. And then I really thought, ganun ba talaga ako? And then, it was like a week or more of introspecting talaga.
Mm-hmm.
So, even on a personal note, like, just so you guys know, this is a thing. And then, I couldn't ask him, I didn't wanna ask him questions. I wanted to figure it out myself. So, I would ask myself questions. Parang inupo ko talaga sa sarili ko. Tapos, nag-iisip lang ako, parang nakatunga nga ako ng gano'n. But I was really just thinking na, I would look back at the examples he would give or like the moments he would, like, the things he explained, did it make sense? And like, when it did, I was like, oh my god, he has a point. Like, oh no. So, yeah, that really, honestly, that changed my life. And until this day, I'm very grateful for that friend of mine. Like, I would always tell him, like, birthday niya, or like when we're randomly talking,
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, thank you for changing my life. Because, like, if you didn't tell me, I'd be in the same cycle. And I think, kasi I think that's why criticism is important. It breaks a cycle of mistakes if you listen. And yun eh, that's why like if you feel like you don't agree with it, sit down with it, feel it, process it. You know, the world is so fast paced, but when it comes to something that kind of really triggers you or hurts you, sit down and think about it.
Yes.
And really just think, okay, pa-process ko to, hindi ko to tatakbuhan,
Mm-hmm.
pag-iisipan ko to. And like, you know, when everything is kind of clear to you, that's when you decide your course of action. And
Yes.
it's either you take it or you just don't listen to it. And you look at the intention and everything, dun talaga siya lalabas. Eh. And I agree. Like, and for me, for events, like, I mean, sa events naman, it wasn't so bad. But actually, mas mahirap sa digital kasi I was full-time there. And I think that's what really makes it hard when it's full-time. Because it's your full-time job. You're there more than 8 hours a day. Means, you know, like when you're working in an agency, it's like more than 8 hours. Or when you're working freelance, it's like there's
Yes.
no stop. So like, it's your life. I mean, technically, it's like work is life. You know?
Yes,
And
totoo
then,
yan.
diba, I mean, ganun naman talaga, like, marketing. That's what makes it hard. It becomes your life. And then, ako pa naman, like, when I market a product, I buy their product or I try their service. And parang, ganun, like, I really use the product and such. So it becomes personal to me.
Uh-huh.
To me, I won't deny that na
Yes.
when I take on a project or like a job, I really get like, I got attached to my work.
Uh-huh.
But then again, yun eh, when I hear criticisms, I freeze, I get overwhelmed because as a perfectionist,
Mm-hmm.
that's the last thing you want to hear. You always want to hear na, good job, perfect. Pero when someone says, wait eh, kasi
Yeah.
kung may kumukontra sa ano mo, parang you're like, who do you think you are that you can do? Like, that's the first thing that enters your head. Eh. Parang,
Yes.
who do you think you are to like take my ganun for granted? So it's important to sit down, process it, and really just understand it, and then you decide from there what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then pwede mong balikan yung tao na gano'n. Or if at that moment you just kind of approach, you say, thank you for the criticism, but can I get back to you when like na-process ko na? You know, just let them know na na-startle ka. And think about it, grow, and then pwede nyo pang pag-usapan, grow from that also, gano'n. So, growth mindset always, 24/7, personal or professional. That's really important.
Yes, definitely. Professionalism. Totoo yan.
Yeah, for sure. Oh.
And may nagtanong pa. So, medyo naging exciting to, no?
Sa
ang tanong ni Adrian, how Adrian Luciano. So, how do you draw the line between respecting your authority and trying your point to be raised and heard?
That's hard. That's a hard one. Oh my god, that's hard. That's actually hard. Ako, your tone is just, I think
Wait, is
um,
this personal ba? Personal ba tong sa tingin
no,
mo?
no, no, it's not. I mean, no, it's not.
Hmm.
But I think it's just a lot of people struggle with that. Na parang when, like, they have so much to say, but they don't say it because I'm like, I don't want my boss to hate me, or I don't want to give myself a living hell if I give feedback on something that I feel is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I personally have felt multiple times. But I think that's what people have to forget. When you're at work, yes, there's seniority, but if you know what you're gonna say is important and it's gonna make things better, I don't care if you are not involved with the project. I do not care if personally, this is just how I am. I don't care if you're not part of the project or you're just part of the company lang or it's
Mm.
not your department. If you have an insight, share it. But parang kasi, I think maybe some people kasi when they say it's like, I think we should do this. Ganun ka
Mm.
agad. I think the best way to break it to someone who's a higher up, first of all, when they open the floor, do you have any suggestions? What do you guys think? Ayan na, like you say na. And
Mm.
when you say it, you kind of say it in a way na, sir, it's not that I very much respect your opinion, parang, I really do. But for me, as like let's say you're the target market of the campaign. As the target market of the campaign, I don't feel like that would resonate with people my age because, and then you explain na parang because ganito, ganyan, ganyan. You don't push it, you just leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, malay mo, they'll take it. Malay mo, they won't. But at least you said your piece. You said it. If it flops because they didn't listen to you,
Mm-hmm.
you know within yourself, sinabi ko na eh. So, you let it go from there. So for me, it's like you say it respectfully,
Yeah.
not pushing anything. You just say it, and then let it go after that.
Mm-hmm.
If they take it personally, be the better person. Don't fight back.
Yes.
And yun nga, kung tayo nga, it takes time to take criticism. What more other people who are higher ups who should technically know more? I don't know if
Yes,
that's applicable,
definitely.
but who should be experts at that more than we are. It might be even harder for them to be corrected by someone younger, ganun. So,
Yes.
yes. So
Actually,
yun. Parang, yeah. Gets
yeah,
mo yun?
totoo
Gets mo
yan.
yun?
I mean, ewan ko, tama siguro yung ganong idea na
Yeah.
kapag nandun ka na sa executive position, I think hindi na dapat ano sa yun. Hindi ka na dapat
Yes.
affected sa mga ganon. And
Yeah, oo.
kapag ikaw naman yung nandun sa beneath them, ikaw yung hinahandle nila and feeling mo meron kang enough ideas for that project.
Yeah.
Just,
Oo.
I think, wala namang masama kung sabihin mo yun. I mean,
Mm.
it's a collaborative project. Kung collaborative project yun. But, kapag nasa work ka, collaboration talaga ang meron. So, teamwork.
Yeah.
Kasi you're putting
Yeah.
up the company on the line. So, teamwork talaga yun. So, wala tayong magagawa.
Yeah, and I mean, hello, the fact that they hired you for a reason.
Mm,
And if the reason is because you can give insight that other people cannot,
yeah.
then, that's why they hired you. So why not say it? Diba? Parang,
Yes,
or
yes.
it's really just a manner of saying it respectfully. And, you don't push it on people. I think for anything,
Mm-hmm.
professional, whatever, you don't push your criticism on people. I think
Yes.
that's personally been my mistake. That's been a mistake of multiple people na you're implying na ganun talaga sila.
Mm-hmm.
Give people time to process, to think, to grow with what you've
Yes.
said. And, malay mo, one day, they'll come back to you and say, you know what, thanks for telling me that. Some people will not, but you see the change, and I think that speaks the same level as someone going up to you and saying, thanks for giving me that feedback. So, ganun lang yun. It's really just the way you say it, your intentions, and, don't push it on people. Just let them take it or leave it, but it's up to them. Pero ikaw, nasabi mo, you did the right thing. And, yun. So, you
Yeah.
just did.
That's nice.
Mhm.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I think napakarami ng natutunan nila natin. Ako personally may mga natutunan din ako on this
Yeah, I
conversation
learned
we
a lot
had.
from you as well. Yeah, thank you.
So, thank you rin. Thank you rin. So,
Yeah,
before we wrap
sure.
up the show, so I think medyo lagpas na tayo, but na-enjoy ko kasi talaga. So, before we wrap up the show,
Yeah. Yeah.
anything else that you want to say with this topic that we have?
That's this topic. I think, wala lang. I guess last reminder for anyone, let it be someone who's 50, 60 years old to someone who's starting out or someone who's freelancing while they're in college or high school. Grabe na ngayon kids these days are like, grabe sila, ang galing nila. They're hustling really hard. Kudos to the younger people talaga. But I think the most important thing with criticism, it goes back to the fact na keep a growth mindset. And yun like I think the biggest thing I can give to people who are my age or even younger, because I'm sure people older than me have mastered this already or are learning this as we say, pero more of remember that when someone comments on your work, on what you do, it's acceptable, accept it, learn from it. Growth mindset. Focus on growth, on being better. So that one day, malay mo, you can prove them wrong or whatever. Like, it's up to you what you want to do with growth. But, growth is important. But also know when to put your foot down and say no. Kasi something a lot of people my age and a lot of people even older have forgotten that. You have to say no, but do it with respect. Because if you want to be respected by saying no, you have to give the same, even if the other person is already not doing it. Kasi you never want to be the person that you're currently facing. You know what I mean? Like parang you don't want to be the bad side of that person. And for me again, remember the context na is he having a bad day? Is he gonna like if you're getting really like stressed with the feedback, take a deep breath and or maybe say, can we take a pause first? I just need a breather because this is kind of very personal. This is very like So just let people know. And again, I think the biggest thing with criticisms kasi it's a form of communication. It really is. And you just really need to communicate with people to learn more, and criticisms are part of that. And for anyone starting out, welcome to marketing. I saw this ad by a masterclass. It was advertising. I forgot the exact line, but it was two people from an advertising firm, and they were like, it's an industry of rejection. Putting that out there. I forgot the exact people and the exact line, but advertising is the industry of rejection. Every day you're gonna have to face it, but they're not rejecting you. Because if they're rejecting you, they're gonna fire you. Simple as that. But they're rejecting the idea or the work. That's not you. Separate that from you and grow and learn and innovate, and don't be afraid of criticism. Embrace it. Because without it, you'd always be in the cycle of who you are and you'd never grow. So, yun lang. That's my
Nice.
last tip for people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. So I'm
Thank you. Yeah.
taking the
Yeah.
floor. Also, isa sa mga natutunan ko rin dito sa conversation namin with namin dalawa is that when you experience this criticism is always make a plan and move on. That's number one. Always make a plan and move on, and always know that criticism is inevitable. It's always there. Hindi yan mawawala dyan. So, you need to prepare your heart. You need to prepare yourself. And the reason why I'm launching this episode na Stoicism is about being calm. Napakaganda na itong episode na to because it's about yourself. How you can be calm, how can you assess things, how can you process things. Very deep nung pag-uusapan na to because Stoicism, I think it came from Greece. So from a philosopher, I can't remember kung sino yung philosopher na yun. This is very nice kasi it will teach you to be happy in your life. So, kahit ano man yung dumating sa'yo, kahit may stressful moments, events na mangyari sa'yo, when you are stoic, very stoic, hindi mo siya maiisip eh. You're still happy, you're still calm. So, maganda to. Pag-usapan natin to on the last week of the month. So, isa yun. So, always know that criticism is inevitable, and always stop dwelling and focusing on the things missing in your life. Stop dwelling on that, and always wag mong titignan din yung negative things. Look at the positive sides. Ano nga ba yung pwede kong gawin? How can we solve this? That's the thing. Kapag designer ka, you need to solve problems. You need to solve great problems. That's what designers do. Because we innovate, we create things way beyond our abilities. So, laging may criticism dyan. Lahat ng companies, lahat ng mga nasa 500 fortune, blah, blah, blah companies, nandun din yun, may criticism din sa loob na yun, but they handled it very, very well. And always know na kapag nandun ka sa state of criticism, kinikriticize ka ng mga katrabaho mo or what ng boss mo, always know, just be calm and just uh, think of it, process things, ano nga ba yung dapat sabihin. So, babalik at babalik pa rin tayo doon. So, it's about setting your mind properly. It will not, yeah, it will not be about the emotions, but it's about how you think of things. So, yeah.
I think that the end goal of criticism, just like last note talaga, like the end goal of criticism is don't use it to prove people wrong. Use it to prove yourself wrong. Na you're better than what. Like kasi, di ba, you will always be your harshest critic to yourself. So prove yourself wrong. Like use the criticism that you got to prove yourself you're better than what you think and grow. So yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Anyway, before we end,
Yeah.
gusto ko lang na anything you want to plug, Bats. So,
Anything I wanna plug? Well, ano ba? Well, if you guys like need a digital strategist, hello. Joke lang. No, really. Like, I don't know. Like, if you guys, I don't know, ano pa ba plug ko? In the works pa kasi yung nila-launch ko. Pero sa 16th, me and my friends are gonna launch something and it's exciting. I can't say it yet kasi hindi pa nala-launch. But, yun, stay tuned for that. Definitely gonna post that on iTunes. And I think, another thing is, anything digital marketing, digital strategy, performance marketing, growth hacking. I'm your girl, gano'n. So yeah, thank you, Ayan. Like, I really learned a lot. Even like, as I'm hearing you talk, parang, I realized that it's not just me that freezes when I hear criticism, and that's great. That's reassuring.
yes.
So I learned a lot. Thank you, and it's been a pleasure. This is such a nice
Yes.
first guest. So thank you lang. Like, yun. So yun, guys. May ID girl. Tatlong eyes na girl, ganon. Tapos yung Patsy, yung eye, ganon. But yun, I mean, just search me. My name is Nicole Batong Bakal on Facebook.
Yes.
You guys can find me. I'm just there. So yeah, thank you. Like, I'm pretty good. Like, I don't want to plug. But thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Ayan. Like, I learned a lot. And it's great sharing insights. You always, it's great to collaborate and learn with
Yes.
fellow marketing people or artists.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, everyone. Medyo lumagpas tayo, but I've really learned a lot from this conversation, and I do hope everyone, if you really love these videos and these kinds of content, just message me kung ano pa yung mga gusto nyong gawing content sa mga susunod na buwan. So, open naman ako doon. And also, kung meron kayong gustong maging guest ko sa show, just feel free to just suggest kung sino man, and I will try my best to contact him or her, kahit nasa ang industry man siya. So I'll be happy having this conversation, these kinds of conversation with him. And kung ano pa yung mga gusto niyo matutunan, because that's what I love to do, to give what you need. So, lalo na ngayon in these challenging times, I know a lot of us are very frustrated and hearing the news. So just be positive. And also, I do have, ako na lang din magpapag ng business. So meron akong business, we do sell chili garlic. Me and my girlfriend does this. So I did the branding. So masarap siya. Kung gusto niyo i-try. So yun, another thing, if you want to follow my social media platforms accounts, it's at Eyel Mauricio, for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I think sa YouTube channel ko, it's Daniel Mauricio. Please do follow us, if you really love this content. Also, another thing, kapag na-enjoy nyo to, please share this to your friends. I know a lot of your yes, like this page, share to your friends. Ayan. Yes. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much for everyone sa nag-comment dito. Thank you for interacting with us. Thank you for joining us. And yes, my name is Yael again. I'm a Filipino designer and creative lead. So, good night everyone and keep safe.